What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joannis or Joe Hatagwa. I'm a Sierra Leonean American living in West Africa. I'm in England right now. And if you want to know what the last few days have been like for me here in England, then this is the video for you. All right. We are live. We're live. I am in my aunt's house, Auntie Marion, who is a watcher of my lives, which I really appreciate. And I also found out Jasmine, my cousin Jasmine here in England, also watches it as well. Anyway, so I am in London right now, London, England. You guys might know I mentioned that I was going to be coming here. And I met up with Mariama Forbes this past weekend. We shot some content, met some interesting people. I can tell you what it's been like being here. We're definitely going to talk about that today. I'm going to open it up to any questions that you guys might have about my experience being here. I'm here until next Sunday. Then I'm in Cannes, France next week, which I have to figure out if I'm going to be able to go live next Monday or not, or if I have to move my live to another day. But as of right now, I'm planning to go live next weekend, same day, same time. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days so far. Let's put it that way. Anyway, let me know if you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you're on Instagram, if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you're on YouTube, if you can hear me. Manelik says, what's up? What's up to Manelik? Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me loud and clear. I want to ensure that I am being heard. Yeah, so as you can see, the background's a little bit different because I'm in another location. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk all about it. Okay, so Manelik says you can hear me. Cool. And can you guys hear me on Instagram? Let me know on Instagram if you can hear me. I see Val. What's up, Val? Val, a comedian. Shout out to you. What's up? Let me know if you guys can hear me on Instagram as well. Okay, cool. So let's do some housekeeping first before we get into today's content. So I see some new people on. So just so you guys know who I am and what this is about, and why I do my lives every week. So for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Joannis or Joe Hatagwa, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, good. Val says she can hear me on Instagram. I am a Sierra Leonean American, meaning I was born and raised in the U.S., but Sierra Leonean heritage and descent. I have my dual citizenship, so I do have two citizenships, and then I'm also a resident of Ghana. And so I live in Ghana mostly, but I do travel a lot, especially a lot more recently. And basically, my YouTube channel is really all about my move from the U.S. to Ghana, really, and going back and forth to Sierra Leone to build a property there. And so if you guys want to watch on YouTube Live, I just pinned a comment for the live. If you want to watch on live, you can join me there. But yeah, so that's what the YouTube channel is all about. Now, as far as the Instagram page, that page has been around a little bit longer. And that page has really been more about just sharing information about what's happening in the diaspora. Sometimes there's viral posts. Sometimes it's impactful, interesting posts. And sometimes it's just things that I found to be interesting or knowledgeable and knowledge sharing. So some historical context, historical content, etc. on the Instagram page. So that's really what the two channels and the pages are about. As of right now, it's just me with the content, but I will absolutely be sharing other people's stories as time goes on. As of right now, you know, I'm in the process of vetting and meeting with different people whose content I want to share and whose stories I want to share on the channel. And so it won't always be me on the live. For now, you'll see me and maybe other people on live, but eventually there'll be people on the live. There'll be different lives on different days. We'll do different types of content. As of right now, I do a YouTube short every single day. I'm on TikTok. Yeah, that's me showing my age. I'm on TikTok as authentic__African. So you can see my content there. I'll be doing some new content on TikTok very soon, but I'm posting on TikTok twice a day. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's just authentic__African. So you have to do 2 underscores. Instagram, it's authentic_African. And then of course on YouTube is just authentic African. So for those of you watching on different platforms, make sure you know that. So Val saying, love the content, it's full of greatness. Thank you, Val. I really appreciate that. Oh, Val, comedian, I appreciate you. So Manelik said he could hear me. Hazel Hyde said they could hear me. And Miss P says, hey Joe, hey everyone. What's up, Miss P? Yeah, so yeah, I do a live every Monday, 9 p.m. GMT. I'm because of daylight savings time, it's actually 10 p.m. here in the UK right now. So I'll go live at this time no matter what, ideally. I've done it in Nigeria, same time zone as I am in now. I've done it in Egypt, which was a couple time zones ahead. Done it in Sierra Leone and Ghana. Now I'm doing it from England, and I plan to be doing it from the States. I'll be in France next week. I'll be in the States, in LA and New York, the following weeks after that. And so we'll go live every Monday. So I go live on Mondays. And then throughout the week, I also have other posts. So as I mentioned, I do YouTube shorts. So those YouTube shorts are 7 days a week. So if you want to look at some of my older content, but you want snippets of it, something that I posted that you may not have seen before, like 10 things I wish I knew before coming to Sierra Leone. Those are the bits and pieces that I'm posting right now. You can check those out. And I'll be posting those 7 days a week, 365. So you'll get a YouTube short from me every day, as long as my social media manager is able to post, because she posts that on my behalf. And I then will be doing a weekly vlog of my experience the previous week. So last week, on Sunday, or this week technically, yesterday I posted about my my experience with a spider and my first week back in Sierra Leone. So I got to catch up on all that content. So the more of that to come for sure. Val says thanks for the dual support. No problem. Okay, so Anne-Marie Harding says they can hear me. They're here in the UK. I'm in the UK as of right now. I was trying to see if we could do something in person, but my schedule did not permit. I did go to the Africa Center, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, and maybe that's a place that we could potentially meet up. But I'm working on a bunch of different things right now, some interviews, and my time is limited here. So I'm trying to maximize my time as much as possible with meeting people who are from Africa and but are in the diaspora, and hearing their stories and seeing their businesses. And so I may not be able to meet with everybody in person while I'm here, which is unfortunate. But my time here is very short because I do have to go to France for a whole nother conference. And so I can't stay here as long as I would like. My guy, Gerald, AKA Spear Warrior, is saying greetings from Detroit. What's up, man? I met Gerald, aka Spear Warrior, in Sierra Leone, so that was cool. So welcome back, or I guess I would say welcome back to the States, even though I'm not in the States. So anyway, yeah. So you'll get a vlog from me weekly, and then also what I'll be posting too is just interviews. I have a bunch of interviews coming up, and I have tours of hotel rooms, short-term stays, Airbnbs. All of those are coming. A lot of stuff from Sierra Leone. I got some interviews coming. I interviewed Yeneva, who's co-founder of Madang, also the manager of Mellow 7, if you guys know some of the Sierra Leonean artists. And she does a bunch of other stuff in Sierra Leone. So check out that video. I also posted my weekly vlog for week 70. I posted that on Sunday yesterday. So you can check that out too. And then this week I have another weekly vlog coming. And then I have another interview I have another hotel tour. What am I doing next? I don't even know what's next. Let me take a look. I got a tour of the Radisson Blu. So if anybody has ever stayed in Freetown and is interested in knowing about what the hotel costs, what the hotel rooms look like, especially if you've been to that ball-in party, which I've been to a few of them, that's held at the Radisson Blu. And I do a tour of the Radisson Blu hotel room, so you guys get a chance to see that where you are. Okay, I'm getting a notification that the video is starting to get blurry. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi that I'm on. So my bad. Sorry about that. You know what? It's been a long time since somebody's requested to be live on my video. So let's go live with this person and see what that's about. And then we can get into today's content. So we can let you guys ask questions live if you want. So Marilyn Joyce is trying to go live with me. So let's bring Marilyn Joyce on. If you're on YouTube Live, you're going to be able to hear it. You won't be able to see it. But if you're on Instagram Live, you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to go live with Marilyn Joyce, unless she changed her mind. I'm trying to go live, but it's not happening. Okay. So she asked to go live, but then declined when I brought her on to go live. It says I'm buffering. Sorry, guys. My Wi-Fi connection, I don't know what the deal is. It should be good. It's on the wrong network. That's why. That answers why my internet. Okay, let me get to another network, guys. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect. Let me know if you guys can hear me better and see me better on Instagram Live. You can also join me on the YouTube Live too. The link is pinned there in the description. The link is pinned there as a pinned link in case you can't hear me. Can you guys hear me now? I should be on a new Wi-Fi now. So give me a thumbs up on YouTube if you can see me and hear me better now. I mean, sorry, Instagram. On Instagram. Okay. All right. So author Sheila says hello from Florida. What's up, Sheila? What part of Florida? Spirit Warrior says it's clear I'm on my cell phone. Now, is that YouTube Live that you're clear on your cell phone or also Instagram? Let me know. Because maybe it's not my side, but I just changed Wi-Fi networks too. So author Sheila says, I visited Tanzania twice now. What is the visa process in Sierra Leone? So Sierra Leone, get a visa. You got to get a visa at in the States, right? So you got to go to if I'm not mistaken, you have to go to a consulate in any one of the states that you might be in, and it has to go to DC to get you your visa. So you have to send out your passport to get your visa from DC, and then they give it you back, and you get your visa. But what you can also do, as I've mentioned many times before, and so there's some new people on the live, so this might be good for you guys to hear. Do African ancestry, and if you have, I don't know what percentage of Sierra Leonean it has to be. But if you have if you're a descendant of Sierra Leone and you have Sierra Leonean heritage, you can get your citizenship in Sierra Leone. So you have to go to Sierra Leone to do it. But I would definitely make sure that you go through that process. I would absolutely recommend it. And because once you get your dual citizenship with Sierra Leone, you get what they call an ECOWAS passport, Economic Community of West African States. I've been corrected a few times that it's only 16 or 15 nation states, not 23, which I initially thought. So it's like 15 nation states. We can go to these different countries with just your passport. It allows you to travel to any one of these countries. So that includes Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Mali, the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, any one of these places and more without having a visa. And it makes it a whole lot easier. So for me, getting back and forth between Ghana and Nigeria and Sierra Leone and all the travel that I had been doing around West Africa was all really easy for me because I had an ECOWAS passport. So I definitely recommend trying to get your dual citizenship. So check to see if you have any Sierra Leone heritage by doing African ancestry. And if you do, I would definitely recommend going to Sierra Leone, getting your dual citizenship. And of course, continue to go back to Sierra Leone, but then you can also go to other areas of West Africa really easily. Author Sheila says she's in Clearwater. Shout out to Clearwater. My mom lives in Jacksonville. I lived in Jacksonville for a year. Interesting times. But anyway, cool. Jose Cruz says, what's good, brother? How's the UK? So let's get into the content. So the question is about how the UK is. So it's cool. It's been good. I went to a Sierra Leonean restaurant called Ibs. I can't even remember what part of town it's in, but if you're here, it's IBB''S. So I went to a Sierra Leonean restaurant. They have 3 locations, 2 actually right around the corner from each other, in an area of town that has it's heavily West African. There's some Nigerians that live there. There's some Sierra Leoneans that live there. So overall, it was good. The food was pretty good. The vibes and the people were cool too. So that was really cool. So I actually shot some content with Mariama Forbes, which some of you might be familiar with, especially if you watched the 10 Things I Wish I Knew Before Going to Sierra Leone. She lives here in the UK. Her and I met up. We went and shot some content at that restaurant. And then yesterday we went to the Africa Center where they had a exhibit or an exhibition, I guess, where there were a bunch of different vendors there, people who sell books written by Africans, people who sell clothes that are made in Africa. You got jewelry made in Africa. You had soaps and lotions, a bunch of different interesting brands. So one of the brands was CC Finery, which I really like, African fashion for the modern minds. So this was really cool, a really cool company that we met. There was another one, ASO, Nathaniel. He was really cool. He's of Nigerian descent. And there was a few others that we met. And so all of that I'm going to put out in a few weeks here. Once I get all this content done and edited, that'll all come out. But you guys will get a chance to see what that experience was like. And I'm trying to do as much as I can in regards to going to museums here and getting content about Africa while I'm here. So on Saturday, I'm going to an African market and I'll be meeting with different people who are there. And on Thursday and Friday, my goal is to try to go to a couple of museums, especially the ones where they have the stolen Benin, what do you call it? Artifacts. And just to tell those stories about what's happened there and if in fact they'll ever be returned from the Benin Empire, which really technically is from Nigeria, but from what I understand, it's part of the Benin Empire, which was the larger part of West Africa. And so I want to tell those stories, right? While I'm here, I don't want to just put out old content. I want to also record content while I'm here. And so because the channel is Authentic African, I want to also share stories of Africans in the diaspora. And so as it pertains to these two cards, don't worry, these are going to, their social media and all of them will be in the description. CC Finery was, what I liked about them is they did a bunch of stuff, bags, clothes, all that kind of stuff. ASO had like notebooks and jewelry based on those Benin statues, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So I'm going to talk about all of that in a separate vlog, but I'll also put links to them in the description of the replay here. So you'll get a chance to like go check them out. Some of them sell their products online, so you'll be able to buy them and ship them. Some stuff ships internationally. Some stuff you do have to be here in the UK to buy. And my goal is when I get the Authentic African e-commerce store back up and running, because it's down right now. Once I get it back up and running, the goal is to have third parties to be able to sell their products on the store. So that's a big goal of mine, is to have other vendors sell their products on the store. So it's not just going to be products that I source myself, but I'll also have other vendors sell their products as well. So let me run through some of the other questions. Tanzanian, I like that name. It took me a while to get it, but hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Shout out to you. All is well. Hope you're doing well as well. And author Sheila says thank you. Oval Comedian says, okay, picture is clearer and flip version on Instagram. Yeah, not sure why that is, but Instagram, you know, when you do the front facing camera, it does it backwards, whereas on YouTube Live it does it the right way. It just is what it is. And so yeah, it's the bronzes, right? The Benin bronzes, yeah. And YLA says, yeah, they have some at the British Museum. Okay, cool. So Oval Comedian saying, what has been your best experience so far here in the UK? Now, this isn't my first time in the UK. I've been here before. I've been here 2 or 3 times before. I can't remember. I've lost count. I traveled a lot in 2014, 2013. But so far it was, I mean, it's a toss up because I was really hungry. And so being able to go to the African restaurant, Ibs, was really good, and the Sierra Leonean restaurant. But I would say the Africa Center was really, really good experience because I got a chance to talk to people who are on the same wavelength as me. You know, now that I've been on the continent for so long and meeting other diasporans in Africa, you know, you tend to have conversations about what colonialism did to us as a continent, what it means for us as children of the continent living elsewhere. And these kinds of conversations I have all the time with my friends who are diasporans living in West Africa. And so I had some of those conversations from time to time when I was living in the States. But I also didn't get as involved in what was going on the continent and just understanding where I come from until like 2017. And so I started building those relationships with people around, but I didn't go to events like the Africa Center. Now that I have this YouTube channel, it actually helps me to engage more with the Africans in the diaspora, or diasporans in Africa, right? Where previously I might have said, you know, maybe one day I'll go to that thing or I'll go to another time. Now I go to anything possible. So when I'm in New York, I'm going to be going to as many things as possible. When I go to France, I'm going to see where I can go because I'll be in the south of France in Cannes. So I'll try to see where I can go there. And while I'm here, like I said, I'm trying to go to as much as I can. So that visit to the Africa Center probably was the best because I had so many interesting conversations with all of those founders of those companies, talking to them about their experiences in the UK. I met a Sierra Leonean who escaped Sierra Leone during the war. She lived in the States and then she moved here to the UK, and we just talked about her experiences and her having to learn skills and teaching her kids skills to ensure that no matter where they are in the world, they can survive. It was just a really good conversation. And so I would say, like, I'm really big on conversation, and I had some really, really good conversations about everything pertaining to being African and being of the diaspora. So that would be, I would say, would be my best experience so far. I would say it's a little cold. I've now been acclimated to West African climate, and it's almost always like 80 degrees and above. For those of you who do Fahrenheit, I don't know what that is in Celsius or centigrade, sorry. But like 80 degrees and above. And being here, it's like 60 something degrees, and I'm freezing. Like on Saturday, I was freezing. Luckily, I brought some extra clothes to be able to keep me warm. All right, cool. So let me answer some more questions before I get into the rest of this trip so far. So yeah, so Noir Supreme hit the nail on the head and hit it on the nose, I think is the other. I always forget the euphemisms and phrases, especially now that I don't live in the States anymore. It is interesting, right? So like I'm so used to now over the last year and a half being in the majority, right? And technically on the globe, we are in the majority, but in the countries like England and in the US, in most areas, we're in a minority. And so that's been interesting, readjusting to that world, right? Because that I didn't expect, right? I mean, I didn't expect it to, I mean, I expected it, but I didn't expect it to have to notice it, right? Because I grew up in a world like this. So every day for me was like that. Every work experience I've had, every day of my life has been like that. But it's been interesting to kind of live it out again being here. So that's been interesting because that's not something I noticed the last time I came to England. So so I don't know. It's just something I'm reminded of, right? And it's, I don't know, it's not like having a negative impact on me. It's just something that I'm noticing. And it is what it is. But yeah, it's I like being back in Sierra Leone and in Ghana and in Nigeria because we are the majority, right? You see people who look like you. And so Oval Comedian says, I love seeing people living their life. Nice. Yeah, that's what my channel is all about, sharing my life how as it goes along. Every new day, every new experience. I'm sharing it with you all as much as I can so you guys can get an idea of what it could be like if you were to move or to visit West Africa. And then while I'm outside of the country, I'm going to be sharing other African stories in the diaspora. So while Asa, I was planning to go to Africa Center yesterday. Glad you enjoyed. So we would have caught each other had you gone. Yeah, I went yesterday. Was a little bit late because I had to edit the video that I was posting yesterday evening. I took a red-eye flight Friday night, got in Saturday morning. Was spending some time with my aunt because I haven't seen her in a while. Haven't seen her since it's had to be like 5 years. So it's been a really long time. So we got a chance to catch up. I got a chance to catch up with my cousin and her daughter, who I haven't seen since I lived in New York. When I lived in New York, I took them up to the Empire State Building, and that was the last time I saw them, and that was probably 2015. So it's almost 7 years ago. So it was good to catch up with her, my cousin Jasmine, and Sasha, her daughter Sasha. I'm looking forward to catching up with her son Fabian too, because they're all grown up now. It's been like 7 years since I've seen them. So crazy how time flies. So Helen says, hello, what's up, Helen? Where are you in England? So I am in London, and I'm in I can't remember what part of England this is called. I keep messing it up. But it starts with a B. It's I'm gonna tell you right now. It drives me crazy not to be able to remember it. So I'm in Lower Richmond. If anybody who's in England knows London, I'm in Lower Richmond. So that's where I am right now. Um, Helen says the UK weather is unsettled. Yeah, and it's a little chilly. It's a little chilly. But what's interesting about being here in the UK at this time of year is that the sun doesn't go down until like 9:30. So that tricked me out the other day. I was on the phone with some friends back in Ghana, and we were on a video chat. And in Ghana, it was dark, and we're an hour ahead, and it was still bright outside here. So it tripped me out. It tripped them out. But yeah, uh-oh, we got something controversial. What are we saying, Molly? White people still in shorts and a t-shirt. That is just normal for people who aren't of melanated skin complexion. In the US and in the UK, that is a commonality. When it's a little chilly, people still wear shorts. Yes, that is true. Manny Emmy says, can you talk about the UK imperialism and the slavery that took place in Africa, which sent Africa backwards? Yeah, I mean, that's something we talked about a lot in the early days on my lives. I mean, but there's a lot to talk about, right? So like, I mean, I would say this, right? As a continent, Africa was flourishing long before, many other of the continents, right? Before they had their own realities and their own Renaissance periods, as you can say, right? Like when you think of the Dark Ages in Europe, what they called the Dark Ages in Europe actually was a time that Africa was flourishing, right? So you had mathematicians, the Moors, which were some Arabs, many Africans, though, mixed in together, going to Europe, teaching math, teaching people to bathe, a number of different things, right? There was just like, it was a really a big part of like trade and communication and education. And Africa's had different empires have had really, really big, impactful moments in history. Probably the one that I think people remember the most is with Mansa Musa, and him being the richest person in human history, selling gold and salt, because at that time people didn't have freezers and fridges, right? So salt was the only way to keep your food sustained for extended periods of time, and so selling a lot of salt. And and we've had other, obviously the Egyptians, thousands of years BC, 4,000 years BC, all the way leading up to like 1,000 years BC before they kept getting conquered and taken over. But the Egyptians obviously had their reign for thousands of years. And so, yeah, the continent, really what happened was, it really comes down to taking an invention by the Chinese and utilizing it as a weapon, right? So the Chinese invented gunpowder because they were doing basically fireworks, right? For a long time. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but if I understand, it was almost like 500 years of the Chinese using gunpowder for fireworks before anybody ever decided to make it a weapon. And so I don't know where in Europe, but somebody at some point thought that it made sense to turn this into a weapon, and it became a weapon. And eventually they had guns, and with guns, they were able to invade. And with that invasion, they were able to colonize. And that is why the continent of Africa is structured the way it is. That's why I speak English, right? But I would say this, after colonial rule, and as Africans are coming out of that, what I will say is, most countries that were colonized by the Europeans, and that have been, given their freedom, if you will, are in the age range of about 50 to 70 years old as nations. And I've talked about this on the live before. So when we talk about some of the challenges we see here in West Africa, where, I talked about some of the challenges I saw in Nigeria. I talk about the challenges sometimes in Ghana. I talk about the challenges in Sierra Leone. These are all things that I think are byproducts of being colonized for a couple hundred years, being forced into a new system. And then the countries, as they're currently structured, are only 50 to 70 years old, right? And when you think about that, right, think about any other country when it was only 50 years old. Think about England in its current iteration when it was only 50 years old, right? What kind of craziness was happening in England? Or think about the United States when it was 50 to 70 years old, right? The Wild Wild West is used to describe a time even after that, where, you had a country that was really unruly, and literally people living like savages, right? You know, when they came here to try to inhabit, well, when they came to the U.S. and try to inhabit the U.S., and then of course using slave labor to in order to accelerate the growth of those countries, right? You know, all the countries around Africa and around the world really that have been colonized don't have the benefit of developing in their current iteration hundreds of years ago, where you have television now and other countries that have had that head start to be able to look at and compare it to. And so for me, when I think about it, I look at it as, look how far we've been able to come in such a short amount of time, considering what has happened. And, you know, you look at the GDP of certain countries in Africa, and you look at, you know, how there are now substantial businesses and the ingenuity that comes out of Africa, considering the circumstances in which it's all developed from. You know, it's really in a much better place than any other country was at this stage in their history. So that's the way I choose to look at it. I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think, but that's where I am on this. And this is why I've landed over the last like year or so, as I've been living in Ghana and traveling back and forth to Sierra Leone. And now I've been to Nigeria. That's how I've been looking at things, is through that lens, as opposed to thinking about how far behind we are on the continent. I'm actually looking at it as how far ahead we are versus anybody else who's a country that's only been between 50 and 70 years old. All right. So Manny, I don't know if that covers what you felt like I should cover, but that's let me know if it answers or addresses what you wanted to talk about. Helen says, okay, I can't remember to what though. Ooh, fancy. Richmond's a fancy area. Yeah. Wow, it says Richmond's. So I've been told Richmond is a fancy area. So I've been told. BFG 007. Hey. I know you corrected yourself later and said hi, Joe. Hi, BFG 007. What's up? How are you enjoying the UK? It's cool. It's okay. You know, the UK is cool. You know, I am I will say this. I'm enjoying hot water, you know, regular hot water, regular electricity. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, in Ghana, I don't have really many issues with electricity, but I do from time to time. And I have a generator at the building that I live in, so that's fine. But you know, I've been experiencing those things, but I got used to those things. But I will say, some of those things that I had forgotten what it was like to just automatically, you know, have hot water without turning on a switch to let the hot water heat up first, and just turning on hot water and it turns on, or the fact that I'm not worried about like the power just going out at any point in time. These are things that I did forget about. And so it's good to have those things. So I would say, you know, I'm happy to have that. But yeah. Okay, cool. So let me get to some more of the comments here, because I realized I missed out on some of the comments in Instagram Live. So Mr. Bounce Los Angeles joined. Bluebells joined. Shout out to you. Mr. Bounce Los Angeles said, beautiful people, please hit the thumbs up and heart to increase the visibility of the channel. Yes, please do. Actually, right now, I want everybody to do this. Everybody hit a thumbs up right now, wherever you're watching this from, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Hit that thumbs up for sure, because we need to get this content out to more people. Oh yeah, and I need you guys to help me get to my goal of 5,000 subscribers by June. I set out to hit that goal earlier this year. I think I started the year at like 2,000 subscribers, and I am at 6 months into the year. I'm gonna get 3,000 new subscribers and get to 5,000. So I need your help. You guys got to help me get to the 3,000 subscribers by the end of June, and I'm trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. So I need your help, everyone. Context is important. Marilyn Joyce is saying, I guess this is back to the conversation I was talking about in terms of the length of time these countries have been in existence. Mr. Bounce Los Angeles says, that's perspective, Joe. That's a great angle to view it. Yeah, just in terms of where we are in history as African countries only being between 50 and 70 years old, whereas other countries that we're comparing them to are 300 or 500 plus years old, right? All right, cool. What else we got? All right, so let's get back to the Instagram or the YouTube live comments. So I think it was okay. So I think Jose Cruz was saying that the Turkish were the ones who turned gunpowder into guns, who turned gunpowder and used them for guns. I think that's what you were saying, right, Correct me if I'm wrong, Jose. Molly says, have you read the book How Europe Underdeveloped Africa? I have not. If that is that the name of the title of the book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa? If it is, I'll check it out for sure. Miss P says, how's the food there? How's the food here in England? Honestly, I've been eating my aunt's cooking, so that's good. And I went to a Sierra Leonean restaurant, so that's been good. But you know, everybody knows that London's not known for its food. Like England's not known for its food. Their food is pretty bland. But I also, after going vegan, I also don't eat a lot of salt, don't eat sugar. So my food that I eat also can be pretty bland too. So, you know, putting that out there, I don't eat Maggi or any of those other spices and stuff. I keep my salt intake to a minimum. But yeah, so but if anybody knows anything, you know, London is not known for its food. That's for sure. At least not the British food. Maybe other international foods that are here, but nah. But the Indian food here, I hear, is good. So yeah. Jasmine Johnson, what's up, Jazz? I haven't seen Jazz in a minute. I knew Jazz from LA. She lives in Atlanta now. So shout out to Jazz. What's up, Jazz? Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Cremilda. What's up, Cremilda? This is my, I guess, cousin, right? I can't really tell. I think we're cousins, right? Cremilda, you have to let me know. But yeah, Cremilda, she lives in New Jersey, which I'll be seeing you because I'll be coming to New York. So we'll have to make sure we see each other when I get there. It's been a really long time. David McCrae's here. Shout out to David McCrae. What's up? Jazz gives the thumbs up. Minard Reddick says, what kind of mindset do you have to live in Africa? Okay, that's a good question. I would say, well, first of all, let me start by saying Africa does have, 56 countries now? I think if all countries are recognized as they are currently instated, I think it's 56 countries. Some countries aren't recognized by everyone. So sometimes it's 54, sometimes 55, sometimes 56, but in that range of countries. At least where I have lived and where I have stayed. So I've been in Nigeria only for 2 weeks, but I know many people who are Nigerian who live in Ghana or who go back and forth. I've lived in Sierra Leone for extended periods of time, 6 weeks at a time, and I've lived in Ghana. Most of my time I spent in West Africa has been in Ghana. One thing I would say is this. All of these countries have different processes for anything that you're used to doing in the West. So like when you're buying data, you don't get unlimited data. You buy enough data for the amount you use. When you're buying electricity, it works that way as well. You top up your electricity. When you're buying your phone plan, it's the same way, right? Everything is like you top it up. It's not unlimited everything all the time, right? I will also say that it's much warmer, at least in West Africa, than what you might be used to in the States, unless you live in Arizona, right? Or maybe Vegas and, places like that. But it's warm at night and during the day. So it can be pretty warm. You also have to have more patience, right? Because as I said, right, we're talking about countries that are 50 to 70 years old, and they were forced into a new way of living. And so processes that you might be used to just take a little bit longer because we're still building those systems and those infrastructures in West Africa. So patience is important. And what's also important is humility, right? Not coming there with the idea that you're going to change things. Come there with a collaborative mindset, but come there with the open mind to learn. Don't come there with our Western arrogance, because we tend to do it and we can be all wrong when we get there. I learned a lot of lessons. I mean, especially working in my last job. When I was going through the interview process, I really pitched myself in terms of what I was going to be able to do for the company. And then I got there and the situation on the ground was way different than what I expected. And I learned a lot of hard lessons doing that. So those are the 3 things I would say to keep in mind. All right. Manny says, thank you for your explanation. What's your Instagram? I'd have fun. My Instagram ID. So my Instagram is authentic_African. So if you're watching on YouTube, just go to authentic_African. If you look at any of my YouTube videos in the description, I'll have a link to my Instagram page. So you can always just click in there. But it's authentic_African. And TikTok is authentic__African. So check that out too. Cool. And then he said, have fun and look after yourself watching from West Midland, England. I will have fun. I'm meeting up with some people here. And so I'm going to try to get a little bit of fun in. I'm going to dinner on Thursday and I'm going out on Friday So I'm gonna try to like have a little bit of fun. And you know what? The Jasmine Johnson that's on is my cousin Jasmine Johnson, not the other Jasmine Johnson that I knew. So my bad. I got my signals crossed. The wrong Jasmine Johnson. Miss P says yes in England. Okay, Miss P's in England. Shout out to Miss P. So this Jasmine Johnson is my cousin because she's asking about the Sierra Leonean restaurant and also said we have a few hot shots that do some lovely fish and chips. So that's how I know this is my cousin, because she said fish and chips, and that is a British term, not the other Jasmine Johnson that I know who's in Atlanta. So take it back. This is Jasmine Johnson, my cousin. But shout out to you because I love that you watched it, the live. So the restaurant was good. I will say they made the jollof like Nigerian jollof, and I didn't think I was gonna get Nigerian jollof. I was expecting Sierra Leonean jollof. The fried rice was Sierra Leonean fried rice, but the jollof was Nigerian jollof, and I'm presuming it's because the neighborhood has other Nigerian restaurants, and maybe that was why they went with Nigerian jollof, or maybe the cook is Nigerian. I don't know, but it for sure was Nigerian jollof, because you know Nigerian jollof is red, has like more tomato sauce in it. It's cool. It's just not Sierra Leonean jollof, right? So, but it was good. It was edible. It was good. You know, it's just is not as good as what we had, and you know, it's a little bit of a letdown because I was expecting Sierra Leonean jollof and it was Nigerian jollof. So, but yeah, but the fried rice was good. I had some fried rice too, and they have a bunch of food there. Like the fish, like if you're into that, there was like a lot of like giant fish. So I saw people like really having a good time eating there. Okay, Camilla says yes. Yes, so meeting up in person. Yes, great, anytime. And she's watching on Facebook Live. Thanks for watching on Facebook Live. While A says, to live in Africa, you need an open mind. It's an amazing place. Yes, I can't speak for the entire continent, but at least where I've lived and where I've stayed, you definitely have to have an open mind. You definitely have to have patience, and you definitely need to go with humility. Those are the three things that I always say. And you also have to give it time, right, to determine if it's the right place for you to live, and just understand what you want. And Mr. Bounce Los Angeles is asking a question: 5K on IG or on YouTube? So I'm at 40,100 followers on Instagram, which I finally broke 40,000 like a little bit over 2 weeks ago. So I'm excited about that. I'm talking about 5K subscribers on YouTube. So the goal was to get, by June of this year, was to get to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so I'm at 4,960 something, if I'm not mistaken. So I got to get 40 something new subscribers in the next 17 days. So I need your help. Make sure you share this. Always share this content with everybody you know who's thinking about moving to West Africa, who could find this information useful. And I got a lot more stuff coming for you guys for sure. Like once I start hitting new milestones, I'm really going to start doing more things, right? Because, you know, this is starting to become something that is really starting to take shape, and I'm starting to become more of a content creator, because I didn't come to Ghana or move to Ghana with the idea of making content for YouTube. That was never the plan. And it just so happened that it started working out that way because my boy Kels was the one who really pushed me to do it. And once I started doing it, I got into it, you know, and this interaction and this engagement with you all gives me energy, gives me life, as they say. And so because it does, I want to continue to offer this kind of value and show people what it's about. And also hoping that we get people to move back to West Africa and to start investing in Africa, and really starting to take part in the shaping of the continent as we move forward and we take our rightful place on the world stage, right? So that's really what the page and the channel is about. So that's what I'm trying to do. And so you guys are going to see that through all of this. I mean, I was still going live when my channel got demonetized. I got demonetized. I posted 60 videos during the 5 or 6 months that my channel was demonetized. I was still posting, even though it wasn't making any money. And it still makes like very little money. It's not making that much money. But it's because of the value that I want to give to the marketplace. It's not really about making money. Like obviously I'd like to generate some income from it, at least cover the cost of editing, my social media team, and the ability to be able to bring on other people. So for sure, it does have to make money because I need to be able to run a business. And I approach this like a business. I'm putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into this YouTube channel. 3 videos a week. I have a social media manager that's posting 7 days a week YouTube shorts. And so, you know, I'm putting out money, right? I'm spending money to ensure that you guys are getting the content that you need. And I'm spending a lot of time as well. Like my conference starts at 8:30 tomorrow morning. It's 10:45 right now, and I'm on a live, right? Okay, cool. So Juliana, I think it's Sensa, says, welcome to London. Where are you staying at in London? I'm staying in Lower Richmond, which I mentioned, I think, a little earlier, but some people are joining a little bit. Come check out the Tech in Ghana in London this Wednesday. Tech in Ghana conference. Man, I wish I could. I'm actually at another conference for my full-time job, which I have to go to. So I won't be able to come to that. But Juliana saying it would be great to connect with you while you're over here, as you've got interest in Ghana and Sierra Leone and would value your insights. I really wish I could go, but I have to go to this other conference. It's Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's all day. So tomorrow, I'm there from 8:30, and then we have a dinner at night. So it's like from 8:30 a.m. all the way to like 10 p.m. at night. At least that's what's on this calendar. It might even go later than that. And then Wednesday, it's all day as well. And so if I can get out early, I would love to go to the Tech in Ghana, the Tech in Ghana and London conference? Tech in Ghana conference. I would love to go. I'll see what I can do. If I can get out early on Wednesday, I would love to go. Because that would definitely be interesting. Also, DM me that information so you can remind me about it. Because once I get off this live, I got to go back to work, and I want to make sure that I'm checking that that site out and see what my schedule is to see if I can actually go. Okay, cool. So Jose Cruz says 104 degrees. I'm out here walking. Yeah, and Jose lives in Arizona. Arizona's hot. Yeah, and Jose, yep. Manelik says, I think you have to learn to put Western mindset and Western ways of thinking away in order to live on the continent. Yes, you're right about that. I would agree 100%. I think if you want to live on the continent, you are going to have to look at things differently, right? You are just going to have to do that. And because it's not the West, right? I mean, they had slave labor that helped them accelerate to the points in which they are. And we just don't have that here. So it's much different. Helen says you'll check it out. Sorry, I don't know what this was in reference to. I get to some of these comments a little bit later, so I don't know what they're in reference to. But yes, definitely check it out, whatever it is. Cremilda rightly states Salon Jollof is the best. That's not even in debate in my mind. I think that is just known fact. Oh, by the way, mention to you guys. So you guys have been big fans of Masa and Kenya, who have been on the channel before. We've done a couple lives together. They opened Freetown Chop House in Ghana. And so we will be, when I go back to Ghana, we are going to do a jollof rice blind taste test competition. And since we'll be in Ghana, we'll have Ghanaian jollof, we'll have Sierra Leonean jollof, and we're going to also try to do Nigerian and a few other countries jollof because there are other people who sell and make jollof in the country. So I am absolutely looking forward to having non-partisan, I think that's the word that could describe these people, to have their viewpoints, right? Because obviously everybody who lives in their own country is going to have their own belief systems. And I can taste the difference between the 3 different types of jollof. So obviously I'm not going to be able to do the blind taste test because I already know what everybody's jollof tastes like already. Well, at least the 3 countries, Nigeria, Ghana, and Sierra Leone. So, but we tend to win all the time anyway. We win these international competitions all the time. Camilla says, I don't think they should be comparing to jollof. We all cook it differently. We do. Excuse me. But I love to be a part of the arguments and the discussions. It's always fun. Yeah. So Mr. Bounce Los Angeles says the heat wave in Los Angeles is anything above 82 degrees. Yeah, and that's the temperature in Ghana and Sierra Leone almost all the time. So Helen says, which business ideas will you bring to West Africa and Nigeria and others? So I myself am into advising and investing in startups. I'm not starting any real businesses at this point. I mean, I've talked about doing some consulting work and maybe running Airbnb for people. Since I've done it, I've been a super host, and just I know the process. I know how to market an Airbnb property, all of that. So I've talked about doing that potentially for different people, and so that's something that I might do. But as it pertains to a business, I'm just going to invest in businesses. Fish farming is a big business here. I know a bunch of Nigerians who do fish farming. I know Ghanaians who do fish farming, and I know someone who sells fish in Sierra Leone. And so, which by the way, I met with him before I left Sierra Leone. I forgot to mention it to you guys. So those of you who have been interested in investing, he's open to it again. And we want to start opening those conversations again, because I got a chance to meet with him when we talked about the business. He's just updating the numbers that he needs for investment, but it's definitely something you guys can look into. But yeah, I'm big into investing in businesses, owning a percentage of a business and participating in the upside, whether it's a percentage of revenue or if they get acquired. There's what they call an exit event, where a large lump sum comes into the company by somebody purchasing it or investing in it, and then you owning a percentage of it gets to walk away with a percentage of that income. Okay, so Taste of Kath says, need to catch up on the live vlogs, but how long will you be in London? Yeah, definitely watch all of them if you can. So I am here until Sunday. So I leave for Cannes, France, Sunday in the afternoon. In the morning, I'm going to the airport, and I fly out in the afternoon. Okay, cool. So Happy Guy says, oh wow, just joined. We're part of England. So I'll say it again for Happy Guy. I'm in Lower Richmond, London. Kevin Briggs says, when am I in New York? We can link up. Yeah, I want to do a get together, right, for all subscribers in New York, and then I want to do it again in LA, and I'll see if I can do it here, like it's somewhere like the Africa Art Center, here in London as well. I'll keep you guys posted. If anything, just keep checking the page. I'll put up a post if we do something in person on Instagram and on the community post on YouTube if I can do something here in London. But as far as New York is concerned, I will be in New York for a total of about 5 weeks. 1 week, then I'm gone, and then I'm back. And so when I'm in New York, I definitely plan on doing something in person. I'll keep you guys posted on that. I'm also planning to go to DC as well. I don't know if I can do something in DC, but I'm going to DC as well. So just be on the lookout. Just keep checking the page, and I'll keep you guys posted. Every Monday, I'll keep you guys posted on where I'm going to be. And so just be on the lookout during those weeks. So I might as well do that now. So next week, I'm in Cannes, France, but I'm at a conference on yachts and whatnot for that week. So I probably won't be able to get out and meet with anybody unless you are at Cannes at the event. So that'll be the only time I'll meet anyone. But in terms of my schedule, let me give you guys the schedule and the calendar over the next couple of weeks. So I am here through to the 19th in London, England. The 19th, I arrive in Cannes, which is Father's Day. I'm just realizing now as I look at my calendar. And I'm in Cannes from the 19th through to the 26th. And so the afternoon of the 26th, I will arrive in New York. I'm in New York from the 26th of June until Thursday, the 30th of June. And then I'm at a wedding and all the wedding stuff from the 1st of July through the 3rd of July. And then I'm free to do more content and potentially doing another event from the 4th of July, which is obviously Independence Day in the United States, all the way through to the 9th or so. And then I'm visiting my sister, and I'll be with my sister in Southern California. So I'll be there with her and her kids. And then I'm back in New York sometime around the 11th through the 30th at least. So that's the schedule. I'll put it up later and on Instagram and on YouTube. But yeah, shout out to Gloria. Gloria, what's up? Gloria is the my social media manager in Nigeria, helping with Nigeria. What am I talking about? In Sierra Leone, helping with TikTok, Instagram, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. So she's the one doing those posts for me. Okay, cool. So Kevin Briggs says, seems like your dude Kells knows where all the good eats are in New York City. He does, yeah. So he turned his vlog into a food vlog. And we're gonna do some food vlogs together. So me and Kells, if you like any of the content I did when I first started my channel. So for those of you who are new and you guys may not know, my friend Kelsey, I've known him since I was 13 or 14. We went to the same boarding school in Pennsylvania, and then we ended up at the same college together in New York City at Pace University. And while we were in school together, in high school, he was in like videography and he was doing all the video stuff. And so at the end of 2020, he was talking about traveling and doing more content because he had been doing a series on the pandemic in New York City and how it shut down the city and who was out and who was still going around. So he was going out every day and interviewing different people. And so he was starting to build his channel in that way. And then he mentioned that he was planning to come to Ghana, and I was like, yeah, I'll be in Ghana. So let's all get together, me, him, and another friend. And he was like, you need to start a YouTube channel. And so I started the channel. We shot some content together. We did some food vlogs together. We did some other vlogs going to Shy Hills Resource Reserve, going to the Accra Zoo, and a bunch of other things. And so, but we shot all that content, and that gave me like content to post for like 2 months. And then he obviously went back to New York. His channel's grown tremendously. He's doing a lot of like food vlogs, and his channel is like really taking off. And so I'm really just learning from him as I go along. And so we'll be shooting some content together for sure when I get to New York. So you can be on the lookout for that. We're going to be doing a lot of like food content, especially like African restaurants. And since he knows all the best restaurants to go, we're definitely going to be shooting some content together. So be on the lookout for that. Gloria says, thanks for shouting her out. Of course, I'm going to shout you out. Anybody that's part of the team gets shout outs. Makia Long, what's up? Invite me to that tasting. I will. So, okay, so Makia, well, she is engaged to a Ghanaian, so you may have a dog in this fight. I hope you can be objective and not subjective. But Makia, her fiance has the company Harry Cotton, and I actually just met up with him and interviewed him and did a fitting for my clothes for Harry Cotton. Really, really, really high quality clothes, by the way. Very good stuff. So you guys will be seeing that sometime in the next month or so, 2 months, maybe even, depending on how long it takes me to get this done. But yeah, Makia, you are definitely invited to, and anybody actually in Ghana is going to be invited to Freetown Chop House to come be a part of that tasting. But if you're Ghanaian, unfortunately, you can obviously taste the food, of course, come buy food, but we can't allow you to be a contestant, not a contestant, but we can't allow you to be a judge, because I don't trust whether or not you'll be biased. So Makia can come for sure. Yeah, I know you're Black American, so you definitely, but you're engaged to a Ghanaian, so I don't know. But yeah, Makia, definitely you're invited, of course. Jasmine Johnson, blind taste test sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think, it's the best way to do it, right? Julian says Ghana jollof all the time. Sure, it's good. It's just not as good as Sierra Leone jollof. Jose Cruz says you should do how investments work. I'll do something like that, and maybe I can spin it for Africa. I've been thinking about that. I want to talk to actual venture capitalists though here on the continent and talk about their investments, because the kinds of investments I've been talking about is just like $1,000 here and there with a small company and agreeing to terms on something. And maybe I can do that. I can talk through the deal structure of what we've been looking at the fish company. like how I came to believe in their business and why I want to invest. So maybe that's something we can do. But for sure, I'll do that at some point. Because we out here unsure. I understand that makes sense. I will do that at some point. Jasmine Johnson, of course, my cousin says Salon Jollof all the way. Good vibes, of course, always the best. Camilla says long time, we have to catch up. I was saying when I go to New York, we're gonna catch up. Manny says, put up your advertising on your Airbnb promotion business, ideas in Lagos, Abuja, and Nigeria. It will be big and profitable for you. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. Yeah, offering up, running Airbnbs for people, but just really like managing the online element, not the physical management of the local location, but really just like changing the headlines, ensuring that they do all the things you need to do. Because before I ever decided to be a host on Airbnb, I listened to about 4 interviews with was it Brian Chesky? Yeah, Brian Chesky, which is one of the founders of Airbnb, and he talked about the wow experience that you want to experience at Airbnb, and he talked through all the different elements that makes it a wow experience. And so I just started doing some of those things, like putting all the local restaurants, the basics though, like even the basics, like a sheet of paper that says some of the house rules that we want to be clear on, but then also here's the Wi-Fi password on a sheet of paper, in a folder, right? I had a folder sitting on the table. Here's where the spare key is. Here's the garage key fob for the garage, so you can have a parking spot. The pool is open from this time to this time. What else did I have? The Staples Center is located here, because I was doing it in LA. And so I had all of this stuff on a sheet, and everybody, always gave me good reviews on Airbnb. And so that's definitely something I plan to be able to offer to other people, because I can tell you right now, that experience in Nigeria, that Airbnb experience in Nigeria that I talked about that pissed off so many people, that's why I have a viewpoint that a way that I do, because I've been an Airbnb host before, and that is not how you do it. Right? I made sure that you can get a key from security no matter day or night. I made sure you knew what the Wi-Fi password was when you came in. I made sure you had towels and a washcloth. I made sure you had toilet paper, right? I did all the basics so that when you got there, it was like what you expect out of a hotel, except you're in somebody's place and you can do your own cooking. You got pots and pans and all that kind of stuff. I also had a cleaner come in before you came in, and a cleaner that would come in after you leave, because that's just how I did it. And so I'm more than happy to start to do that. And I'll probably do some videos around Airbnb in Africa, specifically Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria, what my experiences are and what I would recommend, because I've now Airbnb'd in all 3 countries. And I have some feedback for people that are hosts in all 3 of the countries that I just mentioned. Carmilda says, try the Nigerian restaurants in Southeast London. That's where I was actually. Ibs was in Southeast London, but there are more there. There was one that was around the corner from Ibs that I may try as well. They have some great African restaurants in Old Kent Road, Southeast London. Okay, that's good to know. I'll definitely check it out. All right, cool. Guys, we ran out of comments. Anybody have anything else? Any other questions that people have for me about my experience here in the UK, in London town? It's been an hour. It's 11 p.m. here on GMT, or I guess we call it UK Standard Time or something like that, because it's an hour later than I usually start my lives. So yeah, it's 11 o'clock now. But yeah, any more questions? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any more questions, comments, thoughts on anything we talked about so far. Oh, this is one other thing I meant to mention. Not that I have let me think about how to put this. This is a live. I saw a lot of, what was interesting is I saw a lot of interracial couples here, and I probably didn't notice them before. In Los Angeles, I did notice that was a city where there were a lot of interracial couples, but I did notice it here a lot. I saw it at the train stations, saw it, people in cars, saw people walking. I definitely see a lot of interracial couples here. And so that's just been interesting to me, because It's not something I've been seeing for a while, right? Because I've been gone for a little while. But like with this Dr. Umar in my head is, from all those clips, those viral clips of Dr. Umar and his conversations around it. I myself do not see an issue with interracial relationships. I think it's none of my business what anybody does with their lives, who they love and who they decide to be with, as long as they support each other in their endeavors and whatever they're about and whatever matters to them, right? And if you're gonna date someone who's in a minority group, just trying your best to understand what they're going through. So yeah, I would definitely say that's my thought on that. But it was just something that I just noticed. It was like in one day I saw within like a 2-hour span, I saw like maybe 5 or 6 interracial couples. And maybe that has always been the case everywhere I've been, but I guess now it's top of mind because I haven't seen it for a while. All right, so let me go through some more of the comments. So now there are more comments coming, so I want to definitely go through some of these. First things first, shout out to Manny for the £8.99 contribution to the channel. I really appreciate that. Nigeria is a go for you, my brother. You're smart. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will probably be spending a lot more time in Nigeria over the next coming years, because that's really where all the tech investments are coming from and going to. And I'm starting to build my network there. So I will be going there a lot more often for sure. So you guys will be seeing more content from me there. Definitely. Kevin Briggs says, I would love more info on investing. So I will do that. I will set up aside a time to do but I'll interview someone. I want to have an expert talk about investing, because I am not an expert. And so I think it's always best to have someone who this is what they do for a living talk about it. So I'll definitely do that. I'll do that for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I also have a crypto interview that I'm going to be doing at some point too. Manelik says, have you ever thought about writing a book about your experiences of living on the continent? I'm sure it'll be great help for those who wish and dream to return home. I've thought about it. It's on my list of things to do, right? Because I actually took a course. It was $1,000 course on self-publishing. And so I know how to self-publish my own book on Audible. And I would actually read it myself, right? My voice, obviously, it has to be in my voice. So I thought about it. And I've also thought about just taking many of the lives and turning that into like a compilation. You know how like there's people who do blog posts and take those blog posts and basically turn them into books. I want to do something similar, right? I want to take all my lives, because I'm talking about my experience here, and turn those into maybe like an audio book, right? And so that's one thing I plan to do. But then something that's a little bit more coherent with chapters and follows my whole process, I'll probably do that as well. But this is one of many things that are on my list of things to do. But it will definitely happen. Believe it or not, I've only been on the continent for 1 year and 7 months. So there's still a lot to learn and a lot to live. But as time goes on, I'll definitely be putting together a book. I will say that Ivy Prosper has put together a book on how to move to Ghana. And so if you look at my interview with Ivy Prosper, just go to my page and do a search for that. I think the thumbnail says I wrote the book on moving to Ghana. Check that out and check out her book. At least that's a good way to get like a good jump start. I would definitely recommend that because she had a lot of good insight and she updated it as well. But it's apparently really, really helpful for people. Carmelda says, my brother went to Sierra Salone after 40 years from London. He is back in London. I'll reach you with his number. He has some ideas for Salone. Yeah. So definitely I'd love to talk to him. Yes. Wayne Gordon says the blog idea is great. Yeah, taking my lives and turning them basically into one large audiobook. Life, I'll figure out what I'll call it. Maybe I'll just call it Authentic African. My Authentic African experience, something like that. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But of course, the Authentic African brand has to be there, right? I mean, I use the brand for everything. Funny enough, you guys might find this interesting. This keeps coming up, and it's come up a ton. a friend of mine told me that there was a conversation. Maybe I can't talk about it. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of people who are Africans on the continent who think it's ironic that I call myself authentic African, right? Some people might call me white, which is a way that was I was told that was how I was described by some Ghanaians. Um, they were calling me white because of how I speak, because of my general American accent and the way I speak. And so they thought it was ironic that my page is called Authentic African. And it's funny, like it's happened a couple times in Sierra Leone. It happens a lot more in Ghana. When I tell people what the name of the page, they're like, Authentic African, but you're not authentically African. I'm like, yeah, both my parents were born and raised in Sierra Leone. I was born in the United States, but like, my family history is African. Obviously, if you look at me, my skin color will tell you that. But I think it's kind of funny, right? Because I think that leads to like the idea of more separation instead of embracing someone from the diaspora, where because there's always a complaint that the diasporans see themselves as separate and different, right? And so when you find someone that is embracing their Sierra Leonean heritage and embracing the continent and move back, instead of being encouraging about it and thinking like, yeah, that's a good thing that he's really focused on trying to show Africa in a different light, you choose to say he's not African, right? So I thought that was interesting. And I had this conversation with someone the other day. I'm not offended by it because I think, one, the channel Authentic African really was a brand around an e-commerce store where I was selling authentic African products, right? I was up in the middle of the night. I was using some of my herbal remedies, as I like to call them sometimes, while I was in Los Angeles. And I had an idea about an e-commerce store. I had a party at my house, and I had some masks that I bought in Sierra Leone, and I had them hanging up. And there was this young lady there, and she was like, "This is a really cool mask. Like, if you were to sell this, what would you sell it for?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe like $60, $70." And she was like, "I would buy it in a heartbeat for $70." And I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, I'd buy it for 70." I paid like $5 for that mask, max $5 for that mask, right? So I thought about it and I said to myself, this could be a business, right? So that night, I started thinking about a name. What am I going to call it? And I went through a bunch of names: African Imports, Africa Imports, Africa Exports. And I was like, all those names are a lot. And also they were all taken. And I go to like a URL generator and I type in Authentic African, and it wasn't taken. And I thought that was interesting. And so I go on to Instagram, Authentic African was taken, but Authentic_African wasn't taken. I go on Facebook, The Authentic African was still available. So I had it on Facebook. And then I go. So at that point, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to do this. So I start the Instagram page. So I started the Instagram page first on February 1st, 2019, Authentic_African. And it was based around giving value to people in the diaspora about things that are happening in Africa and the diaspora, but then also trying to sell my products there as well. And so it just grew from there. And so it was always about the e-commerce store and getting people to buy products. First of all, ethically sourced products from Africans who are mostly handmade, ethically sourced products made by Africans, and then eventually African Americans too, and selling them in the diaspora. And so that was the reason for the name of the Instagram page, Authentic_African or Authentic African. When I started the YouTube channel, it didn't make sense to do a YouTube channel under my name when I had an Instagram page with like, it had like 29,000 followers at the time, or maybe 30,000 followers at the time. It was about a year and a half ago. So I got about 10,000 followers since. And, it was like, why not just use that same brand to start the YouTube channel? And that's really what it was, but it's interesting when people address me as Authentic African when I meet them, because that is always interesting, right? Because, obviously my name is Joe and I introduce myself on every video with that, but they remember Authentic African, not my actual name. And so, anyway, I just thought that was an interesting anecdote. And I also wanted to do that to kill time while more comments came up, because there were more comments coming in. So let me go through some of these comments. So Jasmine Johnson says, there are many interracial companies. You'll certainly see you'll see it more in certain areas. Love is love. Yes, agreed. Love is love. So Helen says, thanks for your time and your explanations. No problem. Always happy to help. Kevin Briggs says, we'll be on the continent soon, saving up my pennies, as you should. And you should go. You should go to the continent. Wherever you can go. If you know where you're from, go there. If you don't, then I recommend a number of different places, but I think it depends on what you're looking for. But I always recommend to people, do your African ancestry. If you're Sierra Leonean, you can get your dual citizenship to Sierra Leone. Go to Sierra Leone. It's an experience for sure. Don't get me wrong. You'll definitely learn about the experience. And it's something we could talk about. I've done many lives about it. Just watch my 10 things I wish I knew before coming to Sierra Leone and my 10 more things. And then my Is Sierra Leone is really as bad as they say videos. And that'll give you all you pretty much need to know about going to Sierra Leone. So you're prepped for the trip. But then you can get your dual citizenship, and then you can go to Nigeria. Then you can go to Senegal, the Gambia, Ivory Coast, wherever you want to go in West Africa with that visa, with that passport and not needing a visa. And the United States allows you to get 2 additional passports outside of the US, just so you know. So if you're an American citizen, you get your Sierra Leone dual citizenship. It's that easy. You have to go through the application process, and there's websites that talk about it. You can find it all online. But once you do that, it makes it really easy to travel around West Africa. And that's my recommendation to you all. I'm a little biased because, of course, I want people to go to Sierra Leone, experience Sierra Leone, bring ideas and commerce to Sierra Leone. But it's just like it's a cheat code to being able to get around West Africa without having to get a visa. So I definitely recommend it. All of you who didn't know about it and who haven't attempted to do it, I would recommend you do it. Many of you are going to have Sierra Leonean ancestry for sure. Wayne Gordon says, how you speak or your dialect doesn't depict your ethnicity or origin. Agreed 100%. But unfortunately, that is not how everybody looks at it, right? That's not how everybody looks at it. So yes. So Helen's asking, what is your African name? So technically, I have a couple of names. So my first name, even though technically you would probably say it's not like an African name, I don't know where the name comes from, because there is a Johannesburg with an H. The H was removed from my name 2 generations ago. But my grandfather had the name. Anyway, my first name, you could argue is African too, but probably has its origins in Europe somewhere. My middle name is Bemba, Baimba. Which is like a chief name in Bo Mende tribe. So that's my middle name. So I guess you could say that's my African name. Minyard Redix says, is Sierra Leone a good place to retire? It depends on what kind of retirement you're looking for. I think it depends on who you are and what retirement you're looking for. I think the climate's great. The climate's great. I'll say that. But, I think it depends on what you're looking for and if you're looking to make money in your retirement, because you can do that. It's a little easier to start a business there than in other places, but it's a little harder to grow businesses and to make a really significant amount of income. But it's like the thing about Sierra Leone is, what I love about Sierra Leone is it's the Wild Wild West, right? The Wild Wild West Africa. So if you know the right palms to grease, you can get things done quickly, and you can move through things more efficiently than having to wait in line and go through a bunch of different things that most people have to do if you know the right people. And so for me, but I'm also Sierra Leonean, and it feels like home to me, because the only place I ever heard Creole was in my mother's house. And when I land off the plane in Sierra Leone, I'm hearing Creole on the plane, as soon as I'm in the airport. And so for me, it feels like home. So I'm biased, of course. I would say, yes, it is a good place to retire, but it also depends on where you're from. Some people might prefer Ghana. Some people might prefer somewhere else. It really depends on what you're looking for. So I think it depends on what you're looking for and where you're from. I think that determines it. But I would say visit first. spend some time visiting different countries in West Africa and see if you what speaks to you, where you catch a vibe, you know, and then you can determine if it makes sense for you to retire in that location. Who they Gators. So this is interesting. This person is a Florida Gators fan and a Cincinnati Bengals fan, which is interesting. I will say this: I used to hate the Florida Gators. When I was in college, when I was in high school, I was a big college football fan, and I was a University of the Seminoles, Florida State University. I was a Florida State University fan. It's been a long time since I cared about college football, but when I did, there was a rivalry between Florida State and the Florida Gators, and then sometimes Florida Georgia, and then all of the Florida colleges. But anyway, not to get off on a tangent. I did 23andMe and Ancestry DNA. It says I'm 76% West African and the rest Northern European. 27% Nigerian is the highest percentage for specifics. Well, the thing is that I think you need to do African ancestry for it to count if you want to get your Sierra Leonean citizenship. If I'm not mistaken, I think they do partner with African ancestry in particular. And one thing I'll say about all of these DNA sites is your percentages is going to be based on how many people of a certain group they have in their database of DNA, right? And so with African ancestry, they talk about your tribe. They take you down to your specific tribe, right? Because it's specifically African ancestry. And so there is no set standard for this is a Yoruba Nigerian, this is a Creole Sierra Leonean, right? They try to do as much as they can with the genetic makeup, and I don't know how they determine who is like the most closest to a certain thing, but when they do that, they have their own formula for how they do it, and it's not a shared version of this across the different platforms. So every platform has something different. I had a friend who did 23andMe, who did color, and who did ancestry, and their percentages were wildly different across all of them because they're all different. So I think you have to do African ancestry, and that one is the one you would need to do to find out what tribe you're from, and then of course to even get the dual citizenship if you so choose. My Ghanaian, Liberian, Sierra Leonean is 17.6%. Do African ancestry and see if you get that same percentage. But that's good to know because I think that is enough. Is it all together equal 17.6%, or each of them are 7 and must be all together? I would just check and see. Christabella says, sending good vibes. I'm sure you'll hit 5K this month, like you were saying in one of your previous lives. Yes, thank you. Yes, the goal is to hit 5K this month. The subscriber numbers have been slowing down over the last 2 weeks, so I need you guys to help me get that back up. Because once we get to 5,000 subs, then it's the journey to 10,000, then it's the journey to 20,000, and you guys can all say you were there in the beginning. Right? Like you guys can say, I was there in the beginning when he only had like 2,000 subscribers or like 1,000 subscribers. I mean, it took me, 6 months to get to 1,000? No, it took me 4 months to get to 1,000. And then by the time it was, I don't know, I was at 1,500 by May of last year. And then I ended the year, I think, at 2,500 or something like that. So I've gotten another 2,500 in the last 6 months. But yeah, I appreciate all of you because you guys have really been helping me for sure. I guess Kevin Briggs is booing my Florida State support. Listen, Florida State, as a supporter of Florida State University, that was a long time ago. At this point, I don't care about college football, but when I did, it was Florida State. Mariama Forbes, shout out to Mariama. So she said Joe and Mariama take over London. So yeah, as I mentioned, Mariama and I shot some content on Saturday and Sunday. And we're going to be getting together on Friday again. And if there's any other time to shoot any other content, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, shout out to Mariama. We went on an adventure trying to get around the tube system here in London. That was interesting, but we made it. Okay, so Mariama is now telling everybody you can hang out with Joe and I on London, and Friday we're going out for drinks. DM Joe or me to join us. Joe, don't be mad. Yeah. You already put it in the comments. So I guess so. I mean, yeah, I guess if you want, you can join us out for drinks. DM Mariama Forbes, because she'll tell you where we're going since she's the one who knows where we're going. I actually don't know where we're going yet. So I'm just gonna be meeting there. So I would definitely have her DM Mariama Forbes on her Instagram. Her name is as it's spelled MARIAMA Forbes, FORBES. So DM her on IG and she'll tell you where we're meeting up for dinner and drinks. I probably won't be having any drinks. I'm trying to have as many social interactions as I can without any alcohol whatsoever. I drink red wine. That's all I drink now, but I'm even trying not to drink red wine. So far I've been able to do it the last couple of hangouts. I did karaoke, which you guys are going to see in a couple weeks. I did karaoke completely sober, which I'd never done before in my entire life. I used to say, like, to do karaoke, I need to be drunk. But I did Empire State of Mind with Leanne, who I interviewed. If you haven't seen that interview, go back and check that out. Leanne and I did Empire State of Mind. And then I did The Motto, which is Tyga, Drake, and Lil Wayne with Patrick, my boy Patrick, who Mariama interviewed, actually. Mariama interviewed Patrick, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, I'm going to be out. They're going to be drinking. I'm going to be chilling. So we can definitely have a chat. We can meet in person, wherever that is. But message Mariama. She'll tell you where that is. Hude Gator says, just learned something new. I'll definitely do African ancestry. Yeah, definitely you should. You should. And Kevin Briggs says he's a Bengals fan, apparently. I guess. Cool. I used to be a Jets fan. I can't support teams that are constantly disappointing and terrible. So I actually don't even care about American football anymore, to be honest with you. I don't really watch it. I just pay attention to what's happening in the news in terms of the NFL. But yeah, I'm not a big NFL fan. Which, by the way, there's a topic that I can talk about. Nah, I don't know too much about it. I know enough. But Deshaun Watson. Since this is a topic that's about the diaspora. While if there are any more comments and questions about my stay here, let me know. But I want to talk about this Deshaun Watson thing because I thought this was very interesting. So for those of you who are not familiar, Deshaun Watson is a really, really good quarterback. He was a quarterback for the Houston Texans, which is the team that replaced the Houston Oilers in Houston, Texas, right? He was their franchise quarterback for I don't know how many years. And what has been found out is that they would have hotel rooms for the team. He would use those hotel rooms under one of the athletic trainers' names, and he would get massages. And apparently, as part of that, he would request adult services. I'll put it that way. Adult services as part of these massages. And it's not very clear whether or not every single one of them every one of those masseuses came into that expecting that. And by the way, it was something that it sounds like he got a problem, to be honest with you, because there's at least, what is the number? 24 different masseuses talking about their experience, and some are filing in a civil case, some are not. Some are just saying that they were involved, but like that's a lot. I mean, usually when you have a masseuse in the NFL, NBA, all of that, it's a team masseuse, right? They come in and massage you like a normal massage and you go about your day, and it's the same person and it's very professional. In this case, he took it to another level. And the grand jury decided not to indict him a little earlier this year. So with that, he didn't get indicted. The Cleveland Browns gave him the largest contract in NFL history. Not Tom Brady, not Joe Montana. Nobody has gotten a contract that large. And it's the largest guaranteed contract in NFL history. Meaning, as long as he doesn't get any new charges, we'll see. Based on everything they knew it previously, they're guaranteeing him. Let me see the Deshaun Watson deal, so you guys know what he is getting in this contract. It's unbelievable, unbelievable amounts of money. Let's see, Deshaun Watson contract. Because I saw this number and I just thought, wow, that is something else. 230 million, 5-year, $230 million contract with the Browns. 44 million. Let's just read it. 44 million. What does it say? Okay, I'm gonna 44 signing bonus. $44 million. Wait, is that $44 million signing bonus? No trade clause through the entire contract, so they can't trade him. Wow. So 2022 he gets 46 million. 2023 he gets 46 million. 2024 46. 2025 46. 2026 46 million. 46 million per year, per annum, as they say. And more of these different allegations are coming out. So that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, and I just thought it was really interesting because right now the Browns are trying to figure out what to do because he'll likely be suspended. Maybe he'll be suspended. The NFL is not that good at handling these kinds of things. But it's fully earned money, guaranteed. $46 million a year. Which is crazy. And when Kevin Briggs talked about the Bengals are in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Browns are in Cleveland, Ohio. And so that's why I thought about the Browns and this story with Deshaun Watson. And unfortunately, he happens to be a black quarterback. And so he got the biggest contract in NFL history, and biggest guaranteed contract, even though these allegations are looming over him. So I don't know. It seems like if in fact what they're saying is true, he has a serious problem, and the NFL has a serious problem, and so do the Cleveland Browns, because they guaranteed him that much money for someone who they weren't even fully through the legal process of what was going on. And just like, I mean, the fact that like this is like something he was doing, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like when you're in that position, it's not necessary. I mean, if anybody knows anybody who's an athlete, you don't have to, people throw themselves at you. It's not necessary to go through these lengths to do what he was doing. It makes absolutely no sense. What he was alleged of doing. He has not been found guilty in the court of law. Anyway, while I was on that sidebar, some other notes came up. So let me respond to some of these. So Kevin Briggs says, was hoping he came to the Jets. Yeah, well, he would have came to the Jets. They would have spent all that money and then he wouldn't play. So I don't know. I'm kind of glad he didn't go to the Jets. Helen says, have you been to Zanzibar? Planning to visit for my birthday. I have not been to Zanzibar. So I've only been to Egypt, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and layovers in Monrovia, Liberia, but I haven't been anywhere else yet. I'm planning to go to the Gambia. I want to go to Ivory Coast and Senegal. Those are the couple places I want to go in West Africa. I definitely want to go to Nairobi, Kenya. I have a couple of friends there and building out a network there as well. That's another startup hub. And then I need to go to South Africa, both Cape Town and Johannesburg. They're on my list. But I haven't been outside of the 4 countries I mentioned, but I have some other places that I do want to go though, for sure. Hude Gators, what country made you really look at life differently and appreciate it more after traveling there? Well, what country? I mean, do you mean specifically in Africa? Because I have been all over the world. I've been to India. I've been to Germany, France, England. What else have I been? Spain, Brazil. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Belize, Canada, of course, obviously the States. I went to St. Thomas. Yeah, I went to St. Thomas, and then I went to St. Kitts. I've been to Jamaica and Dominican Republic too. Yeah, so anyway, I think those are all the places. Oh, I've been to Cuba too. So those are places I've been. And of all those places, the place that made me appreciate um, life more, honestly, I think it was when I went to Sierra Leone, just because it made me appreciate, I think, my parents more. Because I know where they came from, and I used to hear stories about what life was like in some cases, right? Because I used to complain about like doing laundry and cleaning the apartment and stuff like that. And my mom talking about how she used to hand wash her laundry and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, right, it wasn't that bad. And then I get there and I see like, oh, okay, I see how it is. So I think it was that. But honestly, going to India too. I went to India, and seeing the disparity between rich and poor in India too was something that opened my eyes as well too. I was in New Delhi, and when we were on our way to Taj Mahal, I think that was an eye-opening experience too, because I saw a lot of like homeless people living on the street, just straight up on the street with nothing else, just laying and living there right in their spot where they are, like with nothing else around them, just them sitting there. And that was a really eye-opening experience, I think, for me. So that was 2015. So that made me appreciate life more. But I think any experience too, I try to gain and learn from every experience and every travel that I can, learning from each culture, learning just about every country that I visit. I try to learn as much as I can. I did more of that in melanated countries, I would say, than I have in the West, but I still do try to learn about people's cultures anyway. So I guess that's how I'd answer it. Um, Hude Gator says he did it. I hope the Browns don't get a refund. Spoken like a true Bengals fan, right? But it may be true. I mean, he hasn't been found guilty as of yet, and so technically, especially in spaces like this, you have to say alleged. But yeah, I think most people agree that it's likely that he did what he did, because his lawyer has said that it's a mixed audience. So, well, anyway, this is what his lawyer said. In parentheses, happy endings are not illegal. That is what his lawyer said, right? His lawyer has actually come out and said that. And so it's actually been clear that that was what he was requesting. Now, I think what he's going to allege, or what he's going to say, is that they were aware that that was part of the services they were rendering to him before they gave the massages. And I think what they're going to have to prove is that that wasn't the expectation, and that he then requested that as after they were giving him a normal massage. And so that is what these cases are going to be about. And there are many of them, many. YLA says, Helen, I've been a number of times. It's stunning, wonderful nature, plus lots of history and culture. This is Zanzibar, by the way, that YLA is talking about. YLA says, Joe, please interview me one day. I have been to 11 African countries, 9 of them more than once, and I host travel trips across Africa outside my day job. Yeah, I'd love to interview you, actually. If we're in the same place in person, it'd be great to do it in person. If not, we'll have to try to figure out on Zoom. It's just a whole lot easier if we're in person. So let's talk. DM me. You have my contact information. Let's definitely talk. Kevin Briggs says, I'm looking at the Gambia, Ghana, or Sierra Leone within the next couple of months. Yeah, if you can check out your African ancestry and see if you're Sierra Leonean, go get that citizenship and then try to go to the other ones. It'll be easier to go to the other ones after that. And you can just go from one to the other. Otherwise, you have to choose between these and get a visa for each one, because as an American citizen, which I presume, or a British citizen, whatever it is, you still have to get a visa to go to each one. Lauren is saying, I may be late to the chat. How much is monthly rent in Sierra Leone? It really depends on where you're staying. That's a good question. So I know people who spend about an average of about $500 a month for a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom apartment, but no generator, right? So I know someone who spends about $500 a month, 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom apartment, very big and spacious apartment with its own outdoor space with a nice view, but no generator. So when power is out, it's out. I also know another person who spends $1,000 a month at the or $1,500 a month at the Chinese what's it called? The West Africa Sunshine Estates. That's a two bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, and that is $1,500 a month. So it can be pretty expensive, but that has a generator. It almost always has power. Except you guys watched that one live that I did where the power went out and didn't come back on because the generator broke. But yeah, I mean there is definitely a few places that are pretty expensive, and there are places that are more inexpensive. Gloria, as a matter of fact, who runs some of my social media for me, was trying to tell me that there are places that are more inexpensive. So I'm waiting for her to give me that context and where those places are, because I'm interested in seeing where those places are. Because everything I've seen so far, if you want to have generator or solar and have power 24/7, with water and hot water and number of bedrooms you might need and some space, is going to cost you a bit. It's going to cost you a bit. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Lauren. Let me know. She says thanks. So I guess it does. Wow, Ace says thank you. I'm hoping to reach Ghana soon, and I've added you on LinkedIn. All right, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys can add me on LinkedIn too. That happened a while after. Once I did that interview with Vanessa Camby, a bunch of people started adding me on LinkedIn. It got a little overwhelming. There's a lot of LinkedIn connection requests. Okay, cool. I see a bunch of new people joining the live. It always happens that way. An hour plus in. We're now hour and 41 minutes in. New people start joining the live, which I appreciate. But of course, you guys are catching the very end, the tail end of this. So I want you to go back and watch the replay. And also, anybody who's new, hit the thumbs up real quick. Whether you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube live, hit a thumbs up so that we can get this in front of more people, and so that YouTube starts making sure that my subscribers see my content. Because, man, it's not easy out here. All right. All right, cool. Any more questions or comments? This has been a really good live. I hope you guys found it useful. Okay, here we go. Here's a question. While A asks, do you use a microphone on your live streams? I do not. So I'm a firm believer in utilizing the equipment you already have. And especially since I'm already spending money on managing my social media. Like I have people running TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. 7 days a week, those are being posted. And then on other Instagram posts are being posted 7 days a week. And I have another person managing that. So one's Nigerian, one's Sierra Leonean. And so I already shell out money to run these pages and some of the elements of what you're seeing when you are engaging with my content, right? So I did not go out and buy different equipment, because at the end of the day, when I had those conversations, especially with Vanessa Camby in the beginning, she was like, just use what you have, right? So, I shoot on the phone that you guys are watching me on my Instagram live on. I shoot on that phone. Shout out to Harry Cotton for joining. Henry, what's up? So I shoot on that phone. All of my content you've ever seen has been shot on a Samsung Galaxy S9. I think it's S9, 2019 edition phone. On my laptop, I have a MacBook Pro. It is a big MacBook Pro, like all the bells and whistles. I bought it as my work computer in January 2020. Had nothing to do with being able to do YouTube lives and stuff like that, but I do have that. I do have access to a mic when I get to Brooklyn, so I'll be using that mic for my lives. And I am gonna buy some like a Steadicam, and I'm gonna buy lapel mics for when I do interviews outside and the wind is blowing and all of that, because many people have complained about issues with the sound with wind. And so I'll be getting lapel mics, which I'm really looking forward to. So I've already started putting together a wish list of all the things that I want to get. So when I arrive, I'll have it delivered, and I'll be upgrading to some of those things. But like I'm getting a steady cam because if you guys have ever watched me in the car, right, while I'm driving, you can see it kind of shaking. And even when I'm walking, it shakes. So I want to get a steady cam so that when I'm walking, no matter what happens, movement around or whatever, it still stays steady. And so that it doesn't like mess with your eyes when you're watching. Manelik says, looking forward to working with you in the near to help you in any way I possibly can. Yes, let's do that. I know we've been talking about it for weeks now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But yes, I do need your help. So I'm looking forward to having you help as well. You know, I do all of this, all the other back end stuff I do myself. So like you know, I outsource some of my editing, which is another cost. But like all my shooting, I shoot myself. You know, all of my editing of my weekly vlogs, I edit myself. You know, which can be time consuming to say the very least. But you know, it's a part of the process, right? I mean, I'm doing it because I want to give you guys the best content that I can as often as I can because I want to continue to bring value to the marketplace. So YOA says, "Wow, very impressed." Yeah, thanks. I just do everything with what I have, but and that also is to encourage other people too. You know, I interviewed Shadara Stephen, who Nigerian YouTuber who actually lives in England, pretty far away from London. So we're not going to do any content together while I'm here. But yeah, she got, you know, 25,000 subscribers, up to 25,000 subscribers just by using her iPhone camera from whatever year it was. I think she was using an iPhone 6 for a while. And yeah, we talked about it when I interviewed her. We talked about it. iPhone 6. She was using an iPhone 6 and got her 25,000 subscribers. She had a viral video that had like 400,000 views or something. It was like growing your 4C hair or something like that. And it went viral, and she was able to add value just using an iPhone. So anybody who's thinking about creating content, don't allow the fact that you don't have a 4K camera and all this other stuff, mics and all of that, to stop you from starting the process. You know, a lot of people get ready and they don't get anything done. And I just want to be here to tell you that if you have a plan to do something, just do it. Just start working on it. I mean, I posted a video the other day because I edited it along with a guy from Pakistan that I use for Fiverr. And I realized that the sound was off. The video was loud, and I didn't even notice it until it was posted and people started telling me, and I go back and listen to it. I'm like, and it was already live for a while and whatnot. And so, but it doesn't matter. It's live, it's up, it's offering value to people. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm here to do. And so you can't worry so much about those little things. You just need to get your content up and going. Even with my lives, you know, I honestly didn't know exactly what I was going to talk about today. But I wasn't going to say I'm not going to do the live because I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to talk about. I figured it out, right? And so I think that, you know, anybody who's thinking about doing content, I would for sure recommend you start the process. Just start it. That's the best thing you can do, is just start it. And then, you know, you'll learn along the way. So yes. Okay. We are now 1 hour and 48 minutes into this live. This is not the longest live I've ever done, but it's one of the longest that I've ever done solo, which is interesting because I'm not even in Africa. I've gone a long time without drinking any water, so I'm dehydrated. But Mariama says every little helps. Every little helps. This is in regards to something she said earlier. I can't remember, or something maybe I might have said. But yeah, every little bit does help, though. Yes. Anybody have any questions, comments, things you want to add? Anything that I haven't addressed? Let me know. Speak now or forever hold your peace, or at least hold your peace until next Monday. Let me know. We're gonna bring this thing to a wrap soon. And for those of you who jumped on late and who just joined, definitely go back and watch the beginning, the replay. It'll be live as soon as I end the broadcast. It'll go live, and you can go back and watch it and get a better idea of what my experience has been like being here. Okay, no questions, no comments. I'll give it another 10 seconds or so, maybe a little longer to see. Let me take a look at Instagram Live. Mickey Supreme says thumbs up. Thanks, Mickey. Mad, is it Mad Caper or Mad Capper? Says peace. Peace, Mad Capper or Mad Caper. Peace to you. Thanks for stopping by. Anybody have anything else for me before we call this a wrap? Marilyn Joyce says, thank you, learned a lot. Flight to Film says, are you still doing a meetup in New York? I am doing a meetup in New York. Yes, absolutely. I'm doing a meetup in New York. And I have two content creators in New York. And so like friends of mine that I've been friends with before any of us ever decided we wanted to create content. So maybe the three of us will do a meet and greet together. I have content that I'm going to do with both of them. One of them, Cece, did 4 months in Barbados. She just came back from 4 months in Barbados. So I'm interested to talk about her experience and mine and how they overlap and how they're different. And then my boy Kells, of course. So I hope we can do a meetup with all three of us. I have to get their permission first. But I'm definitely going to see if we can do that. If not, I'll do one by myself. It's fine. We can do that too. But yeah, we'll find out. All right, cool. What else do we got? Helen says, good night and have a sound sleep. Thank you. Auntie Marion says, looking good, nephew. You're so talented. Keep up the good work. Thank you. She's in the other room. Shout out to Auntie Marion in the other room watching the live in the other room. I appreciate it. Thank you, Auntie Marion. Abu Bakar Kamara says, so sorry I joined too late today. No worries. You can always watch the playback. That's the good thing about this. The playback will be live on YouTube immediately. So you can always watch it back. It's actually live right now. Actually, you can actually watch the playback right now. All right, cool. Every time I go to close out the stream, there's always one last comment that comes through, and like a question about something. So if anybody has any questions, type it right now, because in exactly 1 minute from now, I am going to end the live because we're now at 1 hour and 52 minutes. I'm going to end the live at 1 hour and 53 minutes. So if you have any questions, any comments that you want to share, do so now or hold your peace until next Monday. Okay, James. Okay, here's a question. So James Carefa Smart says, difference in cost of living between Ghana and Sierra Leone. It's a good question. I think Forbes just did an article about saying that Ghana is the most expensive country in Africa or something like that, or one of the most expensive countries to live in the world based on GDP and income in the country and things like that. So it is expensive to live in Ghana. It might be a little more expensive to live in Ghana than Sierra Leone because there are more like luxury buildings and more things that you can potentially find that are expensive. But you have to keep in mind that you'll be able to move somewhere that likely has a generator. Almost everywhere I've seen, almost everywhere has a generator. Not everybody has hot water or anything like that, but you can expect to have more types of amenities and more places, I would say, in Ghana. But Sierra Leone can be a little expensive too, depending on where you want to live, right? Like if you want to live by Longley Beach, it's going to be expensive, right? The place I was staying was perfect location for me because everywhere my friends wanted to go out to, I was within either walking distance or 5 minutes on a bike or on a car. So I would say it's probably a little bit more expensive in Ghana, but not by much. And at least in terms of my experience looking for places with generator, with hot water, and more than one bedroom. So I hope that answers it. Destination Africa TV. What's up, guys? So Ben and Michael from Destination Africa Group TV. By the way, I have your interviews. The interview that I did with you guys, it's going to be edited very, very soon. It's in the queue with my editor right now. I know I owe you guys posting that. I mean, we did the interview last year, almost a year ago, and I'm just getting around to posting it, but it will be up. By the way, I met someone And I'm gonna butcher it, but she does content around homeschooling here in London, and she said you guys would know her. She's homeschooling her children now. I can't remember her name. I met her at the Africa Center, but she's here in London, and she told me that that you guys would know who I'm talking about if I mentioned her. So she said to say hi. Because she was like, I'm doing homeschooling. I was like, oh, I know some people doing homeschooling. She was like, oh, Abena and Michael. I was like, oh, yeah, you know them too. Small world. So yeah, so she said she knows you guys. So I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, you guys are doing great stuff too. And when I get back to Ghana, I know I've been saying this forever, but I need to come to one of your workshops because I think it's really cool what you guys are doing. Kevin Briggs says, how do I think the Knicks will do this year? I think the Knicks will be not a playoff team again this year because as a former Knicks fan, I just know that the Knicks are terrible and it's unfortunate. Tom Thibodeau, pretty good coach, I guess. Julius Randle is pretty good player, I guess. But it really comes down to James Dolan. This is what happens when you're a spoiled rich kid. You take over a business from your parents and you don't know what you're doing. And that is the definition of the Knicks ownership. James Dolan is terrible. And I was a really big Knicks fan. I mean, I was the kid who had the Larry Johnson t-shirt. I had the Larry Johnson jersey. I had the John Starks jersey. I was a really big Knicks fan. Like 96, I got my first John Starks jersey. Then I got a Larry Johnson jersey. 98, 99, they went to the NBA Finals. They went to the finals in 97 too, I think. Anyway, I was a big Knicks fan. All those battles with Miami, and just for them to always come up short and just be a disappointment in the 2000s. I mean, yeah, I don't even want to get into the Knicks. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna do sports talk. I do want to do sports talk, and from an African perspective at some point. So that will happen. I think that's one of my lives and one of the podcasts I'm gonna want to do. I'm gonna have to figure out who I want to do that with and who I want to have do that. And maybe I'll just come on every once in a while to talk about these kinds of things, sports related discussions. But I do want to do that because it seems as though there is a contingent of subscribers who ask me sports questions all the time. And somebody when I was in Nigeria, that first week in Nigeria, there was some people trolling me about the Lakers and LeBron James and all of that. So I know that there's a contingent here who wants to talk sports, and I can talk about sports. Okay, I know some things. So I could definitely do that at some point. Okay, Abu Bakar Kamara says, thanks for all the updates regarding the situation in Africa. I'm planning to return back to Sierra Leone in the next few years to come. Nice. I really look forward to that. I encourage you to do that for sure. Shout out to Mariama for joining on 2 different platforms. Join on YouTube Live first and now on Instagram Live. Shout out to you. Okay. Now I think we've addressed everyone and everything in that last couple of minutes. I said I was going to jump off at 11:53. It's now 11:58. So should I just make it 2 hours on the dot and say I'll jump off at 12 exactly my time? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll jump off at 12 exactly my time. So if there are any more questions or comments that come in, I can address them now. If not, we can jump off early. But let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, ideas. More than happy to address here now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to mention about my time here in England. I think that's basically it. The tube system here can be very confusing. The trains can be confusing for sure. That's something I'll tell you. All right, guys. Well, it looks like that is all the questions and comments we have for today. So I want to thank you all again for joining. It's always been great having these conversations with you all. You guys are all always bring good topics to discuss, and you keep me on my toes for sure. I will say that, again, I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. So I need your help to get there. Forward these lives, forward my videos to anybody you know who cares at all about what's happening in Africa or in the diaspora even. Share it with anyone. Make sure you make sure you comment on the replays. Like when the replay goes live, make sure you comment on it. I definitely think that all of that helps, and it gets the content out in front of more people. Okay, before we bring it to an end, because it looks like we have another comment. So Destination Africa Group TV says, being in the UK, how is the hyperinflation situation and spending African money in the West? It's a good question. So, I haven't really gotten a chance to see as much. I will say, there was a pretty expensive, like for just jollof rice at the place that I went to, it was like $20, right? Because it was like $8. It was like £8, which is almost $20, right? It's like £8, like $18, and then I had a water. So I don't know if that's how much it always costs, but I'm like, just for jollof rice. I mean, this is plain jollof rice, no meat, no chicken, no extra sides, just jollof rice. Oh yeah, it had three slices of plantain on it too. So I don't know if that's normal prices, but that seemed to be pretty high. But yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about inflation here too. And so, but I'll know more when I'm out and about tomorrow, because I'll be out and about. I got to do a lunch and we're going to a dinner, and I'll be walking around to different places. So I'll have to let you know tomorrow. Oh, I'll have to let you know after I do tomorrow's activities, because as of right now, I haven't really gotten a chance to see it. But yeah, I mean, I will say, the Ghana CD doesn't go as far here as it used to. That's for sure. Just because I've talked to people about the strength of the currency previously, and it is not as strong right now. So I wish I had a better answer for you. I don't have all the details on that as of yet. I may know more tomorrow and the next day, as I travel around a little bit more and going to more places and spending more money, quite frankly, on potential clients for big dinner tomorrow night. Cool. All right. We have now officially passed the 2-hour mark. Thanks to the last couple of questions that came through from Kevin Briggs, James from Abubakar, and from Destination Africa Group TV. One more time, I just want to shout out this person. Wait, let me go back to my. I want to shout out Manny for contributing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And so I'm really thankful for people who contribute when they find the content to be useful. All I ask is that you pass it on. But if you decide you want to contribute as well, I really appreciate it. All right, looks like are there new comments? Okay. Latifa is asking, how is your friend Shadera? So I mentioned her earlier. I think she's doing well. She's in Manchester. She's in Manchester. I hit her up when I came because I was hoping we could do some content together. She is a character, and she's fun to do content with. But unfortunately, she's in Manchester. So we're not gonna be able to do work. But she's going back to school. She's getting her master's degree. And so she seems to be doing well. Yeah. But that's what I would say for sure. Okay, cool. Well, guys, it is now June 14th for me. For most of you, it is still the 13th of June. And I do have the conference that starts at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it's a little bit of a distance away, not too far, but I'm going to probably have to leave by 7:30 latest to make sure I get there on time. So that yawn probably is an indicator of how tired I am. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you share this with your friends. Yeah, make sure you hit the thumbs up and comment on the replay, not just here in the live, but in the actual replay that goes live. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.